The men and women who volunteer at the Dartmoor Search and Rescue team contribute great time and effort by helping those lost and possibly injured on the moors. By dedicating their free time, these volunteers help keep the local community safe when under potential dangerous and life-threatening circumstances.
Rendezvous with vehicle 54, over.
Yes, 41 from 04, yes, I have 54 at the roadhead closest to your location.
Dad joined when I was 3 in 1995. He used to go out training every Tuesday night, as well as being on call 24/7, which meant the phone was always waking us up on time. Mum would be on duty straight away with a flask whilst Dad was getting ready, and they always had a bag ready to go. Missed a few birthday parties along the way, but I'm really proud of what he does, and it must have been really, really difficult, or still is difficult for him to balance having a full-time job, family and Dartmoor Rescue, but he does it very well, and he's just got a really kind heart to volunteer, as have the rest of the team.
My name's Philip Lee, I'm the search manager of the Dartmoor Search and Rescue team, Plymouth.
Okay, gents, right, thanks for coming up. We've got a report from the police of we've got 3 people that's missing. One is possibly reported out of some sort of leg injury, but they are all brothers, and they're 2 younger children and 1 slightly older.
My name is Colin Sturmer. I'm a member of the Dartmoor Search and Rescue team, Plymouth. I joined in September 1970. It was about 18 months old when I joined, and it was just a group of moorland enthusiasts who were prepared to go out when the police asked them to do so, to give assistance. In the 45 years I was a member of the executive committee, but mostly I have been just an ordinary member until quite recently. I did 3 years as chairman of the Plymouth team. There is a job description which says that thou shalt keep the team running and make sure all the other officers, that's the equipment officer, the training officer, the treasurer, all do their jobs, and to make sure that it complies with the Constitution, which actually is our governing rule book.
All our call-outs come through the actual police themselves. They're the primary people involved with lost people, whether it's on the moor or other places. So they take supremacy on these sort of events, but they call us in for our expertise and manpower. They've got a point of contact, which is myself. We liaise with the police then to find out what sort of help is required. Sometimes it's an immediate response. Other times we can sort of discuss matters and sort of put the actual response to like a later date or a later time, or even next day. All depends. Every incident can be different. Police get paid for being policing and policing work. We just get called in as an agency to provide, I suppose you could say, specialist advice and help when police haven't got the manpower to suffice those situations.
What radio channel are we on, Phil?
Go on DRG1. There's a radio on the front of the
okay.
On the front of the cab.
Extra kit. The stretch will be laden.
Stretch laden, but
yeah.
take the contents of a red bag.
Okay. Right. Okay.
That's lovely. Thanks.
So it's a year as a trainee, and within that year, you come out every Tuesday night as much as you can, and they kind of give you support and help and teach you how to do things like map reading, which I wasn't very good at, and things like the radio and first aid and things like that. So within that year, you're not a call-out member, so you don't get to go out on the call-outs, but you're there for the training. So I was really pleased and really excited on my first call-out. I had everything ready by the door to go.
In those 45 years that I've been in, the change has been absolutely enormous. It's huge. It started off in 1970, just a bunch of blokes who were prepared to turn up on a telephone call. We had no equipment. We didn't even have radios. We had no communications whatsoever, but we were willing to go out and give a hand to the police. These days, the police look upon us that we have the expertise, we have the equipment and the knowledge to go out and perform a very, very complex task. And they look upon us now and they expect us to act in a very professional way. Initially, in the very early days, we operated in a very amateur way. We were just giving a hand. We can't get away with that anymore, and we have to prove constantly that we're up to the pace. And I think that our team can do that, and we have the respect of the 3 emergency services, the police, the ambulance and the fire service, that we can do a job which they would rather not do. The other day I did a quick thought about how many rescues I've been involved in, and it's in excess of 200. And yes, there are some which stick in your mind, some which are because they're funny, some because they're tragic. And I suppose from my point of view, a purely selfish point of view, is that we were called out to some police cadets in a snowstorm, and the rest of the team couldn't make it, and I lived in Princetown at the time, and we were 2 of us came out of the pub and decided that we were going to go, and in the blizzard we went out onto a place called High White Tor, and the police cadets were there in a tent, and we stayed overnight and were helicoptered off the next morning. So it was quite an adventure for all of us.
There can be different types of call-outs, yes. Basically, sometimes there's the call-outs where you got people obviously lost on the moor. They don't know where they are. They got a rough idea when they call into the police. So therefore they want to be found. We do have technology to help us on the laptop and stuff like that to actually put an actual system in place, so we actually get a call back to actually give them a pinpoint accuracy where they are. Then you do have other call-outs where people don't want to be found. They're the more challenging ones, should we say. We had an instance many years ago. We had a gentleman who was around about sort of 40 years of age, but had a sort of a mental age of around about 3 or 4. He would sort of run away from his home or wherever, but to him it was a game. We were called to come out and assist and look for him, but to him it was a game, so therefore he was on the move all the time. He would see us from afar going into an area, then he'd come in behind, so to him it was a game all the time where we was trying to find him and he was on the move, which is more challenging, so we say. We've had a number of suicide attempts that have been successful, should we say, so therefore, you know, it's sometimes only fitting and right where a member of the team does represent the team at these events, but we're always sort of greeted by the family, just, you know, thanking us very much for what we've done. But yes, we do sort of try and just keep in contact with what's going on.
I don't think I've ever thought of quitting at all, because as I said, it does kind of become part of your life, but there is times when there's about 1,000 things to do, and that Tuesday night when it's drizzling and cold and you think, oh, it would be nice to have a duvet kind of evening, but no, I'm actually really happy and really kind of proud and glad to be in the team.
I've always said that if I don't get out of bed at 3 o'clock on a February morning, then it's time to give up. All the time that I get out of bed and I go out onto the moors or wherever I'm asked to go, then that's fine. But when I think I've had enough, then I should give up.